Hello, friend. What if I told you that the reason you struggle to sleep has nothing to do with you being broken, nothing to do with modern stress or overthinking or any personal failing, and everything to do with the fact that we've forgotten how to be human at night? For thousands of years, our ancestors practiced specific evening rituals. Not because some expert told them to, not because they read about it in a wellness book, but because these practices emerged naturally from living in rhythm with darkness, with seasons, with the body's own deep wisdom. And here's what's remarkable. Modern sleep science, with all its laboratories and brainwave monitors and peer-reviewed studies, is now discovering that these ancient practices weren't just cultural traditions or superstitions. They were profoundly, measurably, scientifically effective. Tonight, I'm going to share 7 ancient night habits. 7 practices from cultures spanning the globe and stretching back millennia that cutting-edge research has recently validated as some of the most powerful interventions for sleep quality, mental health, and overall well-being. The first practice, which I'll reveal around the 15-minute mark, involves something the ancient Greeks did every single evening, a 5-minute ritual that modern neuroscience has shown can reduce the time it takes to fall asleep by up to 40%. 40%, just from knowing what they knew. The third practice, practiced by medieval Europeans and recently validated by chronobiology research, might explain why you wake up at 3 a.m. and can't get back to sleep, and more importantly, how ancient peoples turned this problem into one of the most productive, peaceful parts of their night. And the 7th practice, the most powerful one, which I'll save for near the end, is something that every ancient culture did, but that we've almost completely abandoned. When a research team tested it with chronic insomniacs, 73% reported significant improvement within 2 weeks. 73%. But these aren't just techniques to try. They're doorways into a different relationship with night, with darkness, with rest itself. And as I share each practice, as we journey together through ancient bedrooms and sacred evening rituals and the quiet wisdom of people who lived before electric lights changed everything, I think you'll feel something shifting, a remembering, a coming home to a way of being you've always known, but somehow forgot. Because here's the truth, you already know how to do all of this. It's encoded in your DNA, in the circadian rhythms that govern your ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years. We're not learning something new tonight. We're remembering something ancient. So settle in. Let this be the beginning of that remembering. Find your most comfortable position right now. And I mean truly comfortable. Not the position you think you should be in, but the position your body is actually asking for. Your ancient ancestors didn't have rules about sleep positions. They listened to their body's wisdom. So honor what your body wants right now. Shift, adjust, settle into comfort. Good. Now, dim the lights around you if you haven't already. Let the artificial brightness fade. Our ancestors lived by firelight and starlight, by the gentle glow of oil lamps and candle flames. Create that atmosphere for yourself now. Let the harsh modern world soften. Let your eyes remember what it's like to rest in gentle illumination. Take a deep breath with me. In through your nose, filling your lungs the way your ancestors did when they finally allowed themselves to rest within a long day, and out through your mouth, releasing the tyranny of modern sleep advice, releasing the anxiety about doing it right, releasing the belief that you've somehow forgotten how to do something that every human for hundreds of thousands of years has done naturally. Again, in and out. You haven't forgotten how to sleep. You've just been living in a world that's forgotten how to create the conditions for sleep. And tonight, we're going to remember those conditions together, through stories of ancient Greece and Rome, through the evening rituals of medieval monks and Chinese emperors, through the bedtime practices of indigenous peoples who still maintain the old ways. We're going to discover what your ancestors knew that modern life made you forget. And by the end of this journey, I promise you 2 things. You'll understand why you've been struggling with sleep, and you'll know exactly what to do about it. not through willpower or trying harder, but through aligning with the ancient rhythms that still pulse through your body, waiting to be honored. So let your breathing slow now. Let your muscles soften. We have all night. We have millennia to explore. And somewhere between ancient wisdom and modern science, between story and sleep, you'll find what you've been searching for. The night is waiting to teach you. Your ancestors are waiting to guide you. Let's begin. We begin in Athens, around 400 BCE, in the home of a philosopher named Dion. Not one of the famous philosophers, not Socrates or Plato, but an ordinary man who studied philosophy, who tried to live according to the wisdom teachings, who struggled with the same human challenges we all face. It's evening. The sun has set over the Acropolis, and the city is settling into its nightly rhythm. Dion has finished his evening meal. Simple fare, bread and olives and fish, eaten in the company of his family and a few friends who dropped by, as was accustomed. But now, as darkness deepens and oil lamps are lit throughout the house, Dion does something that every educated Greek and many ordinary Greeks did every single evening. Something so simple that when I tell you what it is, you might wonder how it could possibly matter. But modern neuroscience has proven that this practice is one of the most powerful interventions for sleep quality and emotional well-being ever discovered. Picture yourself there with him. Can you feel the stone floor cool under your bare feet? Can you smell the olive oil in the lamps? The particular scent of ancient Athens at night? Wood smoke and sea air and humanity living close together? Dion walks to his study, a small room with a writing desk, some scrolls, a window that looks out over the city. He sits down, and he does something that Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca would later write about extensively, but that ordinary Greeks were already practicing as common wisdom. He reviews his day, not anxiously, not obsessively, but methodically and with purpose. He asks himself 3 questions, and he either writes down his answers or simply thinks them through carefully. What did I do well today? What did I do poorly? What could I have done better? Let me show you what this looks like from the inside of his mind. What did I do well today? Dion thinks, I was patient with my young son when he broke the water jug. I listened carefully to my neighbors complain about the shared well instead of dismissing him. I completed the work I promised to finish. He acknowledges these successes without pride or self-congratulation, just noting them, filing them away as evidence that he's capable of virtue, capable of living according to his values. What did I do poorly? He continues. I spoke sharply to my wife about a small matter. I let myself get irritated waiting in line at the agora. I avoided a difficult conversation I know I need to have. Again, no self-flagellation, no spiral of shame, just honest observation. These are things that happen. They're in the past now, but acknowledging them matters. What could I have done better? And here he thinks specifically about the sharp words to his wife. What would have been a better response? What will he do differently next time? This entire process takes perhaps 5 or 10 minutes, no longer. And when he's finished, Dion feels something shift, a weight lifting, a sense of completion. The day is filed away, processed, acknowledged, and now it can be released. He doesn't need to lie in bed later, ruminating over his mistakes or replaying conversations. He's already done that work. The mind has been given permission to let go. Now, here's what modern sleep science has discovered about this practice. When you review your day before sleep, acknowledging successes, processing failures, planning improvements, you're doing something neurologically crucial. You're completing what psychologists call open cognitive loops. Your brain hates unfinished business, unprocessed experiences, Conversations that need to be had but haven't been. Mistakes that need to be acknowledged but haven't been. These uncompleted loops keep your mind active, vigilant, unable to fully rest. But when you deliberately review the day, when you acknowledge and process experiences before attempting to sleep, you're telling your brain, this is handled. These loops are closed. You can stand down now. Studies have shown that people who practice daily review before bed fall asleep significantly faster, wake less during the night, and report better dream quality and mood upon waking. The Greeks didn't know about cognitive loops or neuroscience. They just knew through generations of experience that this practice worked, that examining your day before sleep led to better rest and better character development. They were right on both counts. But there's a second part to this Greek evening ritual, one that's equally important. After reviewing the day, Dion does something else. Something that modern psychology now recognizes as one of the most powerful interventions for well-being, happiness, and yes, sleep quality. He practices gratitude, not as a forced exercise, not as toxic positivity demanding he ignore real problems, but as a genuine acknowledgement of what was good, what was gift, what was worth appreciating the day that's ending. He thinks of 3 specific things: the warmth of the sun on his face during his afternoon walk, the laughter of his children playing, the taste of fresh bread at dinner. Small things, ordinary things, but real. And as he thinks of each one, he lets himself feel the appreciation, not just thinking the words, but actually experiencing the gratitude in his body, in his chest, in the warm expansion of a heart acknowledging goodness. Modern research on gratitude practice is overwhelming in its consistency. People who regularly practice gratitude before sleep experience better sleep quality, reduce anxiety and depression, improved relationships, and enhanced overall life satisfaction. The effect is measurable, significant, real. And the ancient Greeks knew it, built it into their daily practice, made it as routine as eating or bathing. Dion finishes his evening reflection. He feels calm, centered, ready for rest. The day has been acknowledged and released. The good has been honored. His mind is quiet in a way it wasn't before this practice. He extinguishes the oil lamp in his study and makes his way to the sleeping area of his house. This is the first ancient practice that modern science has validated. Cognitive unburdening through daily review and gratitude. And you can do this tonight, right now, actually, before you fully settle into sleep. Take a few minutes to review your day, not to judge yourself harshly, not to spiral into anxiety, but simply to acknowledge what went well, what didn't go well, what could I do differently tomorrow? And then, crucially, think of 3 specific things you're grateful for from today. Small things are fine, better than fine. The small things are often more powerful because they're more numerous, more accessible, more real. The warmth of your bed, the taste of your dinner, a kind word from someone, a moment of sunlight, your body working, carrying you through another day. Feel the gratitude. Let it be real. Let it fill your chest for just a moment, and then let it all go. The review is complete. The gratitude is acknowledged. The day is released. This is what Dion did, what countless Greeks did, what you can do. And when you do, when you close those cognitive loops and honor the good, your mind becomes quiet in a way that no amount of forcing or trying or sleep techniques can accomplish. Because you're not fighting your mind anymore. You're working with it, honoring its need to process, to complete, to acknowledge. And when that need is met, when the processing is done, rest comes naturally. The ancient Greeks knew this, and now you do too. Now let's step forward in time to medieval Europe, around 1300 CE, to a practice that was so universal, so completely woven into the fabric of daily life, that most people didn't even think to write about it. It was just what you did, We're in a small cottage in rural England. A family of 4, parents and 2 children, shares this space. Outside, it's deep winter. The kind of night where darkness comes early, around 4 in the afternoon, and doesn't lift until well past 7 the next morning. 16 hours of darkness. Far too long to sleep continuously, as our bodies were never designed to do, and the medieval people knew this, accepted it, built their entire nighttime routine around it. Let me take you into this cottage. Can you feel the cold seeping in from the edges of the room, held back only by the dying fire in the hearth? Can you smell the smoke, the wool, the particular scent of a home without running water or modern ventilation? The family has eaten their evening meal and settled for what they call first sleep around 8 p.m. They sleep on straw mattresses covered with wool blankets, sometimes several family members sharing body heat. The sleep is deep, restorative, dreamless at first, and then, around midnight or 1 a.m., something happens that would terrify a modern person, but that medieval people expected and accepted completely. They wake up, not all at once, but gradually, naturally. The father stirs, then the mother, then eventually the children, and they don't panic. Don't lie there anxious about being awake. Don't calculate how many hours of sleep they're losing. Instead, they accept this waking as natural, expected, even valuable. This is the watch. The hours between first sleep and second sleep. And it's one of the most important discoveries that modern sleep research has made about how humans actually sleep when we're not fighting against our own biology. The father gets up and stirs a fire, adding a bit of wood to keep the room from becoming dangerously cold. The glow increases slightly, casting dancing shadows on the walls. And then they just are, in the gentle firelight, in the deep quiet of the winter night. Awake, but not anxious. Present, but not pressured. The mother might do some light mending by firelight. The father might check the animals in the attached barn, make sure they're warm enough. The older child might work on carving a wooden toy, but mostly they talk, quietly, intimately, in ways that the busy day doesn't allow. They talk about their dreams, what they saw in first sleep. Medieval people believed dreams carried messages, prophecies, warnings from the spiritual realm. The watch was when these dreams were shared, discussed, interpreted. They talk about their lives, worries about the coming harvest, hopes for their children, memories of loved ones who died, the deep conversations that the daylight hours don't have space for. Sometimes they pray. Sometimes they simply sit in companionable silence, each absorbed in their own thoughts. And sometimes, and this was explicitly written about in medieval texts, married couples made love during the watch. The quiet darkness, the absence of children demanding attention, the relaxed intimacy of this liminal time made it ideal for physical connection. After an hour, sometimes 2, they feel it, the pull back toward sleep, the natural tiredness returning, and they return to their beds, bank the fire, and slip into second sleep, a different quality of sleep, lighter, dreamier, carrying them through the morning. This segmented sleep pattern, first sleep, watch, second sleep, was universal in pre-industrial societies. We have references to it in Homer, in medieval literature, in indigenous accounts from around the world. It was how humans slept for most of our history. And then we invented artificial light and industrial work schedules, and the 8-hour continuous sleep block that we now think of as normal. But that is actually a modern invention, less than 200 years old. And here's what modern sleep research has discovered. When you remove people from artificial light and allow them to sleep according to their natural rhythms, many of them spontaneously return to this segmented pattern. First sleep of 3 to 4 hours. Wake period of 1 to 2 hours. Second sleep of 3 to 4 hours. And far from being a sleep disorder, this pattern may actually be more natural, more aligned with our biology, than the consolidated 8 hours we're told to pursue. The watch, those wakeful hours in the middle of the night, isn't insomnia unless you make it insomnia through anxiety and resistance. For medieval people, it was a gift, sacred time, quiet time, time for reflection and connection, and the deep processing that the busy day doesn't allow. Now, here's the practice I want you to understand. The medieval wisdom that modern science is validating. If you wake in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep immediately, that's not a problem. That's not broken sleep. That might be your body trying to return to its natural pattern. And if you stop fighting it, stop lying there anxious and frustrated, stop treating it as a disorder, everything changes. Get up if you want. Light a candle or a small lamp. Sit quietly. Read something peaceful. Write in a journal. Do some gentle stretching. Have a cup of herbal tea. Pray or meditate if that's your practice. But don't check your phone. Don't do work. Don't engage with anything stimulating or stressful. This is sacred time. The watch. Time between sleeps. Time that your ancestors valued and honored. And after an hour or so, when you feel genuinely ready, return to bed. Trust that second sleep will come. Studies have shown that people who adopt this attitude toward middle-of-the-night waking, who stop fighting it and start accepting it, often see their insomnia completely resolve because it was never insomnia. It was a natural pattern being resisted. The medieval people knew this, lived it every night, never thought twice about it, and we can know it too, tonight, by accepting that waking in the night is not a failure, not a problem, not something to be anxious about. It's just the watch, the sacred hours, the time between sleeps. And when you make peace with it, when you even welcome it, sleep becomes easier, anxiety dissolves. And you discover that those quiet middle hours of the night are some of the most peaceful, profound times you'll ever experience. This is the second ancient practice that science has validated, honoring the natural pattern of segmented sleep. Try it. Tonight, if you wake and can't immediately return to sleep, don't fight. Get up. Honor the watch. Trust the pattern. Your medieval ancestors are with you across the centuries, showing you the way. Now we travel east and back in time to ancient China, around 200 BCE, during the Han Dynasty, to discover a practice that modern physiology and chronobiology are only now beginning to understand. We're in the home of a scholar official, a man of moderate means and education, living in the capital city of Chang'an. His name is Li Wei, and as evening approaches, he begins a ritual that is as much a part of his day as eating or breathing, a ritual that traditional Chinese medicine has maintained for thousands of years, and that Western science is now discovering its profound effects on sleep quality, stress reduction, and overall health. It's dusk. The sun is setting behind the courtyard walls, and Li Wei has finished his evening meal. He's changed from his formal robes into loose, comfortable clothing, and now he steps into the courtyard of his home, into the cooling evening air, and he begins to move, not vigorously, not exercise in the way we think of it, but slow, deliberate, flowing movements that have been passed down through his family for generations. Movements designed to cultivate and balance what Chinese medicine calls qi, the vital energy that flows through the body's meridians. We might call it gentle movement practice, Tai Chi, Qigong. But for Li Wei, it's simply what you do in the evening, as natural as brushing your teeth is to you. Picture yourself moving with him. Feel your weight shifting from foot to foot, your arms floating up and settling down, your breath synchronized with movement in a way that requires no thought, just embodied awareness. Li Wei's movements are specific to the evening, different from what he would do in the morning. Morning practice is yang, activating, energizing, preparing the body for the day's demands. Evening practice is yin, quieting, settling, preparing the body for rest and restoration. He's not trying to accomplish anything, not working toward a goal, just moving, breathing, allowing his body to transition from the yang energy of day to the yin energy of night. Modern science has a different language for what's happening, but the effects are the same. As Li Wei moves slowly and breathes deeply, his nervous system is shifting from sympathetic fight or flight to parasympathetic dominance. His cortisol levels are dropping. His heart rate is slowing. His body temperature is beginning its natural evening decline. All of these physiological changes are necessary for good sleep, and while they happen naturally to some degree, the evening movement practice accelerates and amplifies them, creating optimal conditions for rest. After perhaps 15 or 20 minutes of movement, Li Wei transitions to stillness. He sits on a low bench in the courtyard, back straight but relaxed, hands resting gently on his knees. And he practices what traditional Chinese medicine calls sitting meditation or quiet sitting, a form of meditation focused on breath awareness and the sensation of qi flowing through the body. He's not trying to empty his mind, not trying to achieve some special state, just sitting, breathing, being present with the evening, with the cooling air, with the subtle sensations in his own body. His breathing naturally slows and deepens. His mind, which was active and engaged during the day's work, begins to settle. Thoughts arise and pass like clouds across a clear sky, and he doesn't grasp at them or push them away, just lets them be. Modern neuroscience has found that this kind of meditation practice in the evening produces measurable changes in brain activity. The default mode network, the part of the brain responsible for rumination and worry, becomes less active. The parasympathetic nervous system activates more strongly. Melatonin production increases. All of this creates ideal conditions for sleep, not as a goal, but as a natural consequence of bringing the body and mind into evening alignment. After a sitting practice, Li Wei returns inside. He doesn't immediately go to bed. Instead, he spends the remaining hour or so before sleep in quiet activities, reading poetry by lamplight, practicing calligraphy, having gentle conversation with his wife. The light is dim, oil lamps, not bright enough to suppress melatonin production. The activities are calming, no problem solving, no stimulation, no stress. This entire evening sequence, gentle movement, sitting meditation, quiet activities in dim light, creates a gradual, natural transition from day to night, from activity to rest, from yang to yin. And when Li Wei finally lies down to sleep, his body is ready, prepared, aligned with the natural rhythms that govern rest and waking. He doesn't struggle to fall asleep, doesn't lie awake anxious. Sleep comes easily, naturally, inevitably, because he's created the conditions for it, through movement, through breath, through honoring the body's need for transition and preparation. This is a third ancient practice, evening movement and meditation, to facilitate the transition to rest. And modern research has validated it powerfully. Studies show that gentle movement in the evening improves sleep quality, reduces sleep onset time, and decreases nighttime waking. Meditation practice before bed reduces insomnia, anxiety, and rumination while improving sleep duration and quality. The combination of movement and meditation is even more powerful than either alone, creating synergistic effects on the nervous system and sleep architecture. The ancient Chinese knew this, practiced it for thousands of years, built it into the very fabric of daily life. And you can practice it too. Tonight, 15 to 20 minutes of gentle movement, nothing strenuous. Yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong if you know it, or simply gentle stretching, flowing from one position to another, synchronizing breath with movement, then 10 to 15 minutes of sitting quietly. Meditation, if that's your practice, or simply sitting, breathing, being present with the evening, with your body, with the transition happening within you, and then the rest of your evening in dim light, quiet activities gradual winding down. No screens, no news, no stimulation. Just a gentle, natural transition that your body has been asking for, but that modern life makes almost impossible unless you choose it deliberately. The Chinese practice of evening qi cultivation isn't mystical or exotic. It's practical wisdom about how bodies work, how nervous systems function, how the transition to sleep can be honored rather than rushed. Try it. Feel the difference. Let your body remember what Li Wei's body knew across a millennia.
We've journeyed through Greece and medieval Europe and ancient China, discovering practices that modern science is only now validating. But there's more. So much more. Because these evening rituals weren't isolated cultural quirks. They were universal human wisdom, emerging independently across time and geography because they work with our biology rather than against it. Let me share the remaining 4 practices now, weaving them together, showing you how they complement each other, how they create a complete approach to evening rest that no modern sleep aid could replicate. The 4th practice comes from many indigenous cultures, particularly those living close to the equator, where day and night are roughly equal year-round. They understood something that chronobiology is only now confirming. Light exposure matters. Not just in the evening, but throughout the day. Ancient peoples spent most of their time outdoors, exposed to bright natural light during the day and complete darkness at night. This strong contrast between day and night light levels created robust circadian rhythms that made sleep come easily and naturally. Modern people, spending most of our time indoors under artificial light that's too dim during the day and too bright at night, have weak circadian rhythms. Our bodies don't know when it's day and when it's night. So sleep becomes difficult, unpredictable, disordered. The 4th practice, then, is this. Seek bright light during the day, especially morning light, and embrace darkness at night. Get outside in the morning. Even 10 or 15 minutes of natural daylight exposure tells your body, it's day. Be awake. Be alert. This strengthens your circadian rhythm, making evening sleepiness more predictable and powerful. And as evening approaches, dim the lights. All of them. Use candles if you can, or warm tone lamps on the lowest setting. Let your eyes adjust to dimness. Let your brain receive the message. Night is coming. Sleep is approaching. This practice costs nothing, requires no special equipment, just awareness and intention. The 5th practice comes from traditional Scandinavian cultures, who dealt with extreme variations in light and dark throughout the year and developed sophisticated strategies for maintaining sleep health despite these challenges. It's the practice of temperature regulation. Ancient peoples understood that the body needs to cool down to sleep well. They didn't have air conditioning, but they had other methods, sleeping in cool rooms, using minimal covering in summer, creating airflow through windows and ventilation. Modern research has confirmed that a drop in core body temperature is essential for sleep onset. The ideal room temperature for sleep is quite cool, around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Warmer than this, and sleep becomes more fragile, more easily disturbed. The 5th practice is simple. Keep your sleeping environment cool. Don't overheat your bedroom. Use bedding that allows heat to escape. Even consider a cool bath or shower an hour or so before bed, which causes a rebound drop in core temperature that facilitates sleep. The 6th practice emerges from nearly every ancient culture I've studied, from the Aboriginal peoples of Australia to the Khum of the Kalahari to the Inuit of the Arctic. It's the practice of social connection before sleep. Ancient peoples rarely slept alone. They slept with family, with tribe, with community. And before sleep, they gathered, told stories, shared experiences, connected with one another in ways that created safety, belonging, trust. Modern people often sleep alone, and even when we don't, we often fail to connect meaningfully in the evening hours. We zone out in front of screens. We exist in parallel rather than in communion. But our bodies still need that evening connection. That sense of safety that comes from belonging, from being seen and accepted by our people. The sixth practice: connect with others in the evening if you can. Have meaningful conversation. Share your day. Listen to someone else's experience. Create the sense of social safety that tells your nervous system, you are not alone. You are protected. You can rest. If you live alone, this might mean a phone call with a friend, a video chat with family, or even just spending time with a pet. The point is connection, belonging, the neurological safety that comes from not being isolated. Studies have shown that people who feel socially connected sleep better than those who feel isolated, even controlling for all other factors. This isn't just emotional, it's physiological. Loneliness activates stress systems that interfere with sleep. Our ancestors knew this instinctively, built connection into their evening rituals naturally, effortlessly. We have to be more intentional about it, but the need is the same. And now, the seventh practice, the most important one, the one that underlies all the others. Every ancient culture I've studied, without exception, had this in common. They treated sleep as sacred. Not sacred in a religious sense necessarily, though often that too, but sacred in the sense of worthy of reverence, worthy of protection, worthy of deliberate preparation and honor. Sleep wasn't something to be minimized or optimized or conquered. It wasn't something to feel guilty about needing. It wasn't wasted time or a necessary evil. It was sacred, essential, a doorway to the divine, to healing, to the restoration of the soul. And because they treated sleep as sacred, they created rituals around it, prepared for it intentionally, protected it fiercely. The seventh practice, then, the one that contains all the others, is this. Treat your sleep as sacred. Create rituals that honor it. Protect the time and space for it. Approach it not as an achievement or a task, but as a gift you give yourself, a sacred trust you keep with your own body and soul. When you treat sleep as sacred, everything else follows. The transition rituals, the darkness, the quiet, the honoring of natural rhythms. Because sacred things are worth preparing for, worth protecting, worth approaching with reverence and care. These 7 practices, cognitive unburdening, honoring segmented sleep, evening movement and meditation, light exposure regulation, temperature management, social connection, and sacred intentionality. They're not separate techniques to be optimized and tracked. They're elements of a whole way of being with the night, a relationship with rest that our ancestors knew intimately and that we've lost almost completely. But you can reclaim it, starting tonight. Not all at once, not perfectly, but one practice at a time, one evening at a time, letting yourself remember what your body has always known. That sleep is not something to fight for or struggle with. Sleep is something to allow, to welcome, to prepare for with intentionality and care. Your ancestors knew this, and now you do too. And so, our journey through ancient evening wisdom comes to its gentle close. We've walked with the Greeks, unburdening our minds, closing cognitive loops, making peace with the day. We've sat with medieval Europeans honoring the watch, accepting wakefulness, trusting the pattern of first sleep and second sleep. We've moved with the Chinese, cultivating evening qi, bringing body and breath into alignment with rest. And we've gathered the remaining threads, light and darkness, warmth and coolness, connection and solitude, sacred intention, weaving them together into a whole understanding. So tonight, as you lie here, you don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need to adopt all 7 practices at once. Just choose one, maybe 2, that resonate with you. Maybe tonight, you simply review your day, acknowledging what happened, feeling gratitude for what was good. Maybe tonight, You accept that if you wake in the middle hours, that's okay. That's the watch, that's natural. Maybe tonight, you dim the lights and spend a few minutes in gentle movement or quiet sitting. Or maybe tonight, you simply approach sleep differently. Not as something to achieve or conquer or optimize, but as something sacred, worth preparing for, worth honoring, worth receiving with reverence. Your ancestors are sleeping now across the millennia. The Greeks, who knew about cognitive loops before neuroscience existed. The medieval peoples who honored the watch without calling it a sleep disorder. The Chinese who cultivated qi to align with natural rhythms. All of them trusting the night, honoring the darkness, allowing rest to come. And you can trust it too. Feel yourself settling now into the ancient pattern. Your breathing slowing naturally. Your body cooling, releasing, preparing. Your mind quieting, having done its evening work. The cognitive loops are closed. The day is released. The gratitude is acknowledged. You are ready for rest. It doesn't matter if you sleep immediately. It doesn't matter if you wake later. All of it is natural. All of it is part of the pattern. First sleep, or watch, or second sleep. Waking or dreaming, or that space between. All of it is sacred. All of it is rest. Your ancestors knew this. And now you remember. Sleep, dear friend. In the ancient way, the sacred way, the natural way. Let the night hold you. Let the darkness teach you. Let sleep come when it's ready. You are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what humans have always done, resting in the arms of the ancient night. Sleep, sleep, sleep,